Purgatorial Flame, who asks, as a fellow explorer type, will we be able to capture and document fauna and flora for the Galactopedia? If so, could we take this to the next level and potentially sell various species on the black market or to UE research groups? That's actually a pretty good suggestion for something that like explorers could do. I mean, we were definitely thinking that you will go down, besides sort of mapping out jump points and where the asteroid fields are in the sort of unexplored areas of star systems, that we would have some level of landing on some non sort of populated planets, and you could maybe do some looking if there was an ancient ruin there, or you could do some sort of scouting, or like check it out for minerals or something. And probably flora and fauna could be kind of an additional part of that. So that's a pretty interesting suggestion. So we'll add that to the list of things that we potentially would do for the Explorer, because I kind of think that's kind of interesting. I mean, we definitely want to have you visiting different planets and different areas of the galaxy and having mementos to sort of, instead of having some achievement in a generic sort of award system like you do on console games, we wanted to like go to your hangar and see like these mementos from these different places that you've gone and visited.
Plus, you got to get new fish somewhere.
You got to get new fish somewhere, yeah. Maybe you got to go fishing for it. So anyway, that's a good suggestion. Next question comes. Week's episode comes from Uchu, or Yuchu, who asks, concerning exploration gameplay, what gameplay elements / mechanics can players expect from an explorer's lifestyle? Besides scanning for jump points, asteroid fields, anomalies, and derelicts, what other activities can an explorer do? Well, we sort of, we know that exploring is a big deal for people. So, jump points, obviously, asteroid fields, anomalies, derelicts, they're all sort of things that you would try and find. I mean, we're certainly going to let you, even a known star system has most of the space uncharted. So as an explorer, you could fly around to try and find whether it's the asteroid field, the anomaly, or the derelicts, and then chart it. And once you've charted areas, you can either share it with your organization / friends, or you could sell it back to the game to create sort of charted maps for that area that people could pre-buy. We are going to definitely have things like alien artifacts or some ruins on planets that you can go down and discover. So we'll sort of have definitely kind of scavenger hunt style stuff, and something where you maybe have a very short kind of like, okay, I find an artifact and I've got to get 2 other pieces of this artifact, and that will give me a key that will open up this other thing that will allow me to get this rare item that would be really valuable. So there's a kind of a fair amount of that sort of stuff. On exploration, we're sort of thinking of having some areas where you can land on a planet and sort of explore around to look for stuff, go down and some ruins or whatever, but have something that feels like it has a little more substance than, for instance, the Mass Effect, when you had the rover going on the outside of the planet. Of course, that would be sort of limited to areas that would let you land in, and some of that would be pseudo procedurally generated. Not everything will be fully handcrafted in those cases. But yes, basically those are kind of the exploration stuff. So you going and sort of charting open space for like the different areas of interest, going through jump points, and then sort of charting out that system, and maybe landing on some planets that people haven't really spent much time, or going down to somewhere with an archaeological dig, whether it's down on a planet or on an asteroid field. Those are all sort of things that we're thinking would be really fun for people that like to explore. So hopefully you will too. All right, that is. Can you tell us what exactly exploration entails, and what plotting a jump point will be like? What exactly exploration entails? A lot. That's like how long is a piece of rope? So there's a lot to exploration. I mean, it's not just going to be looking for an undiscovered jump point and plotting the jump point and going to a new system on the other side. There's going to be just a lot of sort of mapping that will happen. So even in systems that are known, not all of the space is mapped. So basically there'll be certain areas like on the trade lanes and the general areas we'll pass that will have nav points on and will be mapped to a certain extent, but the vast amount of it won't be mapped. And so, maybe you find an asteroid field that isn't on a map. Maybe the asteroid field has some really good minerals, or maybe there's a wreck, So we're going to try and sort of add things to discover even in known space. So we're really sort of trying to up the amount of things that you can do if you're an explorer, where it's not just about jump points or finding a new system, although that's pretty cool. But obviously that's, we can't do everything all at once at the beginning, so that's all stuff and content we'll build to. And then the other thing I'll say is that we're, doing a lot of work and R&D on sort of procedural sort of content generation. So, I know a lot of people think, okay, all Star Citizen is completely scripted, but or designed or crafted. And yes, it has a huge amount, like Terra and Earth will definitely obviously be pretty much everything will be handcrafted. But to build a universe on the scale, we need to sort of balance some procedural stuff as well as crafted stuff, which is the way I think is actually the best way to build a big expansive universe. It's the same way that we're approaching the gameplay. We can't script every mission, so we're actually building it in such a way that the universe itself dynamically sort of runs itself, and the players' interactions sort of generate a lot of the missions and the intrigue and the action. So I didn't answer what will plotting a jump be like. Well, it should be a lot of fun and very scary and very risky. So, jump point's sort of a rip in the space-time continuum that takes you instantly between, well, almost instantly between two parts, many light years apart from each other. And so the concept with it is sort of to have, I don't know whether it's a space-time fabric, sort of, big breaker, if you want to think in surfing terms, that you want to surf in, and you've got to hit exactly the right lines, or else you're going to go off track and potentially, get ripped apart or spat out in some random part of the universe. And obviously this will require a combination of some skill, some specific equipment. But once you've gone through and you've recorded your jump, so to speak, you can then turn around and sell that to the government, or sell that, or share it with your friends. And obviously you can name a jump point or a system after you, which should be pretty cool. But it should be like trying to ride the hairiest big wave off the North Shore of Hawaii, but with like cool space effects. Anyway,